Hello everyone. Welcome in, welcome back. Hopefully you all are doing well today. So as always, we are taking a look at the energy presented here today. So take what resonates, leave what does not. Hopefully this message finds you well and in a good space. If you're listening to this at work, hopefully you're not distracted. If you were at home with the kiddos, hopefully they're not being too bad. But, like I said, I'm just channeling the energy present today. Let's see where we're going. Let's see what wants to come through. We have clean it up. Okay. Clean it up. Never-ending story. Community. Fork in the road. What's grounding this energy here and now? I feel like there is a cycle here with Never-Ending Story that you've kind of been in a rut in. I don't think you'll be able to get out of this alone. I am getting the strong sense that this is the loudest card here, other than here and now, that the answers that you're looking for are not in your present vicinity. And what I mean by that is I feel as though that there is a friend or a family member out there, someone or something in your community, in your tribe. Let's put it that way. Not just your community, in your tribe of people that actually hold the answer to help you clean up whatever is going on here. I'm hearing a snap decision. You know, maybe somebody might invite you out to go do things, to, you know, go hang out, or just to kind of get you out of the house or get you out of this repetition that you're going through. And when they do that, I feel as though they present you with different options. They present you with different ways to go about the situation that you are currently in. And what that does is that opens up this fork in the road here, and it allows you to move forward from the spot that you're at. I just saw the Ace of Swords, so we'll see if that comes back. Let's see where else we're going with this. Let's take this a step further. We've got the Moon. It's Pisces. Six of Cups. Page of Wands. Queen of Wands. Give me one more. And the Devil energy. A lot of darkness, which is very interesting because I don't ever usually say stuff like that. But a lot of darkness here with this Moon and with this Devil energy. It's almost like you've been stuck in a situation of the past, Six of Cups, that you're still kind of brewing over. It's almost got the same energy of yesterday, but it's not the same. It's not the same. But it is something that you're reflecting heavily on. Something that has kept you where you are. And there's something about this fear here or confinement, it shows up as both, but there's something here that I feel as though it only comes out at night. You know how you kind of lay down in bed and you're dealing with, you know, the thoughts of the day, reflecting. I feel as though that's where it comes out, is when you are left alone with your thoughts. But it's really got a hold on you. Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles showed up, I believe, in the same spot yesterday, or it showed up yesterday. Eight of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles. Grounding is the Ace of Wands. Guiding is the Hierophant. Past energy is the Seven of Cups. Future energy is the Fool. Look at that. Motion is the Four of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Six of Swords. Okay, I see some healing here. I see movement forward. And then we have the artist here. So a few things that speak to me. First, we have the Seven of Cups. And the Seven of Cups is kind of an illusion, confusion. In this particular instance, it's somebody wearing a mask with a crocodile. It's almost like... I'm not trying to call you a liar here, but it has that energy of kind of like that fib energy, that you weren't really honest with the situation at hand. And that could very well be, you know, why you're afraid to step forward, because if you were actually honest, it opens up kind of like a can of worms. What's guiding you is the Hierophant. And that Hierophant energy, you know, is about tradition. It's about, you know, the old ways of doing things. And I feel as though that is kind of what's driving you right now. It's almost as though you're afraid to break away from tradition. Even though the traditional way is what's kind of keeping you in this loop-de-loop. And it's very interesting. It's very interesting because community, we have the Three of Pentacles, which does tell me it's like a collaboration, and the Eight of Pentacles tells me, you know, this group of people is going to help you. What's also interesting is we have the Ten of Pentacles here, and the Ten of Pentacles, you know, is kind of like, how do I want to put this? Because in this particular instance, it's like learning wisdom, learning something tangible from an older person. But in the regular Ten of Pentacles, it's, you know, kind of got like that family dynamic. And this family dynamic could also be what's keeping you stuck. Maybe that the person who put this tradition on you, or, you know, somebody older than you who said something to you in the past, is like, hey, like, okay, the conversation is brought up because you're dealing with all of these things. And the conversation is brought up and you explain to this person, could very well be the same person. And you're like, hey, like, remember when you said this to me? Like, this is really kind of wrapped around me, and I don't feel as though that this is the course that I need to take. And they could very well be like, you know, that was just my course of action. You know, I want you to create your own path. I will clarify that there. But I do see kind of like a meeting of the minds. It is a physical thing that happens. And I do feel as though that you do have inspiration here. Ace of Wands. You do have inspiration here to move forward. Because then I see the healing process, the Four of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles, the Six of Swords, and then we have the Artist. You do break free of this. So clarify the past energy for me. What is this? The Five of Wands, the Two of Swords, some sort of fight, Knight of Swords, and the Six of Wands. Yeah, it was kind of a fight. It's almost got, you won the battle, but you lost the war. You won the battle, but you lost the war. And with it being swords, I feel like inspirations with the Five of Wands clashed with one another. What inspired the both of you, or whatever the situation was, kind of clashed. And then that messed up your mentality. Two of Swords, Knight of Swords. It messed up your mentality. And so, like I said, you may have won the battle, but I think you lost the war. So what is this Ten of Pentacles? The Magician, the Empress. The Magician, the Empress, the Eight of Swords, and the Tower. Woof. Woof. I do feel as though this did throw you out of balance. This kind of destroyed the foundation that you were standing on here. You know, I do feel as though that you were transforming into something really good. Like, it was like, I won the battle, I'm going to transform and become something better. But then this energy stepped in, and it's just like, woof. Woof. So, with that clarifying the Ten of Pentacles, this person, may tell you, that was just my experience, but you're going to make your own choices. It's almost got a tinge of disappointment to it. It's almost like, well, you're not going to follow in my footsteps. I mean, that sucks, but you're going to make your own choices. It's almost kind of got that passive-aggressive energy to it. But I almost feel as though that small sliver of you're going to do what you're going to do actually leads you forward here. I'll take that. The new beginning, I'll also take you to, yeah, the Well, and the Four of Cups. So, it's almost as though you've been living your life based off of somebody else's expectations, okay? And when you come to realize that those expectations are not what you want, you bring it back to the person. It's almost like, do I really want to use that example? Okay. I got this example. You know how the older generation, and this is just the older generation, this is not today, okay? Older generations thought that interracial relationships were a no-no, okay? And they had that generational cycle that they had to break out of. And there were plenty of instances where, I have to walk a very fine line with this, where a black man would fall in love with a white woman, or a black woman would fall in love with a white man, and their parents or their grandparents had a problem with it, right? Because they're like, oh, well, that's not how things are supposed to be done. There's a help, blah, blah, blah. I don't think that. Please don't come after me in the comments. Or like with gay marriage, or, just something that went against that generational way of doing things, right? Then it boils down to, well, you're going to do what you're going to do regardless of what I tell you. It's almost got the disowning factor to it, which I'm not saying that you're going to be disowned. I mean, with the way that this is set, some of you, may lose a grandparent or, somebody close to you. But I feel as though you have a support system here. People who are telling you, hey, like, it is okay to break the mold. It is okay to, love who you love. Or, instead of being a doctor like the rest of your family, you are being an artist or a veterinarian or a cook. There are people who are supporting this dream of yours. But I do feel as though that it is, not something traditional that your family would want for you. Clarifying the Three of Pentacles. I got the Two of Pentacles, the Four of Pentacles. Look at that. The Seven of Pentacles and the Lovers. I do feel as though this support system for you does help you. But you have to figure that out for yourself. But I don't think, again, you can right now because you're struggling, internally with the thoughts and the fears of, what if they disown me? Or what if, things don't go the way that my family thinks they will? Or what if they do and my family was right? I'm going to tell you right now. And this is coming from my own personal experience. For those of you who are new to this channel, some of you may not be aware that I am somebody who likes other men, okay? And just to get that up and out of the way. And when I was younger, my father had a very big problem with it because that wasn't really how things were done. It's just a phase, you'll grow out of it, so on and so forth. Mind you, I was 11 at the time when I finally figured it out. I was 11. Well, here I am, 17 years later, and I still like men. In fact, I have a wonderful relationship. But, growing up, I was told, it's a phase, you'll grow out of it. Every time we moved, it was, well, this is your chance to not be the gay kid, so on and so forth. And, I tried. I tried to appease the older generation because, I wanted to be not a disappointment. And then I learned the hard way that I was disappointing myself. I was very unhappy with myself because I wasn't being true to who I was. And when that finally clicked into place, were people mad? Absolutely. Absolutely, people were mad. Did I care? At first, yes. Yeah, I did. It actually led to my father and I having a falling out for a few years. But that is a whole other story for a whole other time. But essentially, the meat and potatoes of it was the fact that I was his only son who was a homosexual. And as I got older, I started dating men. Like, it got to the point where I could finally be true to myself. Did he come around? For the first few years, no. Not at all. In fact, I wasn't even living with him at the time. I was living with my godparents. Love my mom. My mom is my rock. I love her. But as the years went on, people start to realize that they only have so much time left. And it's either, you let this person be happy or you get rooted in tradition and you miss out. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because if this older individual, if this older energy, traditional energy, as that, really cared for you, they would want you to be happy. And if they don't, to be honest with you, they're standing in your way. Because you are allowed to live your life the way that you see fit. And if it's in a non-traditional manner, rock it. Go for it. But I do feel as though that you are hurting yourself right now by trying to contain yourself in somebody else's image of you. I do. And it's time for that to be healed. That is what's being asked of you right now. And I feel as though it does become healed through this other, your support system here, your community, your friends, the people who aren't trying to shove you in this little box. And once you finally learn that, you can start over. Because we're going from the 10 of Pentacles to the Ace of Pentacles. You get to finally start a new chapter and move forward into a life that is completely your own. As for the end of my story, I've moved on into a world of my own. Did that relationship get better? Absolutely. Because they realized that I was going to do what made me happy, and at the end of the day, he wanted me to be happy. And so he had to get on board with the idea that I wasn't going to, marry a woman, I was going to marry a man. And because I stepped into who I was, I now have a wonderful relationship. My world has centered around me in a way that it needed to. And that's what I'm hoping for you. And this is just an example. But I really hope you step away from what people are trying to tell you to be and move into who you want to be. Find a better support. Okay? Okay. Zodiac signs that I see, and we have quite a few on the table. Gemini, we've got Pisces, Capricorn, Libra, Aries, Taurus, Sag, Leo, Gemini, Virgo. I knew I was missing one. One more time just to make sure that I'm not missing them. We've got Gemini, Pisces, Capricorn, Virgo, Libra, Aries, Taurus, Sag, Leo, Gemini. And that is what I see. So, thank you guys very much for joining me. As always, your company is well appreciated. And I will see you all again later. Bye, guys.